In this video, I'm gonna show you one quick tweak that lets you triple your closing rates, charge higher prices, and selling your services and your offer without having to give any pricing discounts. This is something that I have understood really well in the past 8 years of doing sales. In my career, I have trained and hired and managed over 100 sales reps. I have ran 2 different sales teams with over 15 people. I have owned a sales outsourcing agency, and obviously I have also done a lot of high-ticket B2B sales calls for my own agency. So the first thing we need to understand that there are different types of prospects. There's prospects who buy more easily and there's prospects who buy harder. So if you have 10 different prospects and you had for your agency, it can be an SMA agency, email marketing agency, a B2B lead gen agency, AI automation agency, whatever it might be. And the thing that you need to understand that around 10 to 20% of these prospects will never buy. It doesn't matter how good your offer is. It doesn't matter how good your price is. It doesn't matter how many case studies you have. They are on your pipeline by mistake. They're just tire kickers. They don't have budget. They are not decision makers. Obviously, the better you get in sales, the quicker and better you're able to identify this 20% in your pipeline and you're able to get rid of them quicker. And obviously there's the other side of things. So around 20% of the prospects are gonna buy super easy. They are extremely easy to sell to. If you just give them the right information, if you just tell them your offer, tell them your price, and you don't say some dumb stuff during your sales process, they will buy always. Obviously, when you're starting out in sales, when you run an agency, you're not as confident in your service, you don't know the niche that much, you're gonna still mess up a lot of these deals. Usually most agency owners that are doing like below 20, 30K a month, they are only selling to this group of people. And they usually are closing like half of this 20%. So they have 10 calls, 2 of those people in those 10 calls are gonna buy super easily. They have a really low buying temperature. And then you talk to both of them, you mess one up, and then you close one. And this gives you like a 10 to 15% closing rate on average. But what you need to understand that there's still 60% of deals in the middle. These prospects are people and companies who are able to buy, but you need to increase their certainty. They are not easy sells. You actually need to sell. A lot of people think that they are selling when actually they are just giving presentations, and they are only giving presentations to this 20% of people. If you just are giving presentations, you're not actually selling, and you're just going through a really basic pitch. You are talking to 10 people, 20% are never gonna buy, 60% don't buy because you're not really actually selling, and then out of these 20%, probably 1 is going to buy because of your sales pitch, and they are really easy to sell. So what I'm gonna show you in this video is how to sell to all of these people, and also how to convert a bigger amount of these people. Obviously, you have to be a really good salesperson to sell to everyone here, but that's not the goal. You don't want an 80% closing rate anyways. That just means that you're selling for too cheap. For all of this to work, we first need to understand 2 different concepts. There's first a term called buying temperature. And this is pretty much a level of certainty that the prospect needs to have in order to buy your service. The second part of the equation, which is certainty. A certainty obviously is the level of certainty they have in your offer, in their company, in their service, in their skills, and in their case studies. The certainty that the prospect has in your service needs to go above their buying temperature, or at least really close to it, for them to be able to buy it. Some prospects by nature, they have a lower buying temperature, so some of them are extremely easy to sell, and this is pretty much the bottom 20% that you are most likely selling to right now. You give a good pitch and you have a good price, and boom, you're already over their certainty line, and you're able to get the yes from them. And then some people have an extremely high buying temperature. It's super high here. They are more skeptical. They'll probably been burned by other agencies in the past. They probably don't have that much money. They probably are not really good at taking risks. So they are really hard to sell. And then there's obviously the top 20% who don't have any interest in buying your service at all. And they're pretty much buying temperature is out of the picture in this case. What a lot of agency owners and freelancers at the beginning, what they do, they sell to 10 people, or they hop on a sales call with 10 people. And they find the people who have a really low buying temperature and they close them. But that's not really predictable. Obviously, if they have a really low buying temperature, they're really easy sales. Your competitors are also able to close them really fast. So you're just pretty much competing against everyone else in the market to close these easy clients. And if you're just competing to close easy clients, your market isn't super expandable. It's not really scalable. It's really limited. And all of your competitors are also trying to close the same clients that you are trying to close. And we want to be able to take the prospects who need a higher level of certainty to buy the service, because those prospects are quote unquote harder to sell to. Not all of your competitors can close them. And also there's so much more people who fit that criteria than who fit the easy buying criteria. What usually happens with level of certainty is based on what happens before the sales call. They are going to have a level of certainty before they jump on a call. So usually what happens, you send them a cold email, you send them a DM, they see an ad, you cold call them, whatever, and you give some kind of a first impression. If you give a really good first impression, if you sound really professional, you have a really good email, or you have a really good ad, or really good funnel, or whatever it might be, their certainty is already going to increase a bit here. They're really super sharp on the phone. They already have done good research. They're really enthusiastic. They really understand you. You're going to obviously think that, okay, this guy is some kind of an expert already. Then they book the call with you and they probably do some kind of research on you. So they might go and check your landing page. They might go check your LinkedIn profile. They might go to your video sales study, your case studies, your social media presence, whatever it might be. And that's also going to affect the certainty. So if you have a really good first contact with the prospect and you have a really good funnel and really good offer and really good VSL, the certainty is already going to be like maybe here. If you have a really poor VSL, if you don't have a good offer, if you don't have social media presence, the certainty is probably going to be a bit lower. So let's say that the prospect certainty level is here and their buying temperature is all the way up here. So what a lot of people do is they hop on and they do a discovery call with the prospect. So they ask questions, they talk with the prospect, they get to know them. If you have a good discovery call, the prospect's certainty level is going to immediately increase during this process. They see that you're a real person, you know what you're talking about, they see that you're actually here to help them, so it's going to increase their level of certainty. Then what happens is you book a demo call with them, and in the demo call, you give them the pitch, boom, 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 you give them the price, etc., and their certainty is here. And most people do, they ask for the deal here, and they get a big fat no. What a lot of people do here, they're like, I don't want to be pushy, I don't want to be this aggressive salesman, so I'm just going to give them more information, I'm going to see if they maybe buy later. And then they just stop the sales process here, and what happens is the prospect never gets answers to their question and they never buy. Because what a lot of people think is when they get the first no and they're like, I'll think about it for 3 days, I'll talk with my business partner about this, and then I'll get back to you. The reason why they didn't buy the service from you in that scenario is because they didn't have enough of certainty. And you, as an agency owner, you might think, okay, they're gonna think about it, so I'll just let them think about it for 3 days, and then maybe hopefully they'll buy. But thinking about it 3 days, their certainty is not gonna go up during these 3 days without you giving them any information. They probably have a bunch of questions. By thinking about it for 3 days, their certainty is not gonna magically increase without getting more information. So what happens during these 3 days is they think about it, and then after 3 days, you ask again, okay, do you wanna buy this? And they'll tell you, no, we don't wanna get it. And the reason for this is because there's a gap between their buying temperature and the certainty. So people automatically think, okay, the more time I spend thinking about this thing, the more information I'm gonna get. But the big problem here is the only person who's able to provide information about your offer is you. What you need to think is, okay, there is a clear problem, there's a clear gap between the knowledge that they need to buy this. So what happens here is when they give you the first no after your pitch, you don't want to think that this person is not going to buy, this company is not going to buy it. What you need to do is you need to identify that, okay, there's a clear gap between their buying temperature and the certainty they have right now. What most people do here is they get the first no and they just quit and they just find another prospect. But you have already done so much work to get them to this point. You have already taken them from never knowing you to this level of certainty. So what you need to do here is, okay, there's a clear gap. They told you no. You'll have to think about it. Okay, John, big decision for you to start doing something completely new. I understand the need to think, but what is the thing that you're really concerned about? What is in your head right now? Are you worried about something? And then the prospect is going to tell you, yeah, I'm actually thinking about the GDPR law. I'm a bit worried that this is not the GDPR friendly. That's why they are not certain on this, because they're worried about something in their head. And they would not have gotten an answer to this question if they just had thought about it for 3 days. So I'm going to explain them. Yeah, John, I completely understand. GDPR is something that we need to respect and we need to abide by. But actually, we have spent a lot of time figuring this out ourselves, making sure there's no problems with it with the GDPR law. And as long as we just follow a few basic rules, only reaching out to people who could benefit from the service, making sure that we store the data safely, and making sure that we only reach out to their business emails, there's going to be no problems on the side of the GDPR law. And then they hear that answer, they're like, interesting. I didn't know that. So obviously their certainty is gonna go up. And then you're like, okay, John, now that that is figured out, would you now wanna buy this? And you close again. But as you can see, there's still a gap between their buying temperature and their certainty. And they tell you no. No, I don't think so. I think we'll still have to figure out a few things. We'll just have to think about it in-house. Okay, John, 100% once again understand. Is there something else that you're concerned besides the GDPR law? And they tell you, yeah, we are just really worried about the lead quality. We tried out a lead generation service in the past with Facebook ads, and the lead quality was absolutely garbage. And we just spent a lot of time and money into getting leads that never converted. And then once again, okay, we have identified the gap between their certainty, and you can explain to them, you can give them an answer. Yeah, John, once again, I 100% understand. The main thing with Facebook ads is, obviously there's a bunch of great Facebook ad campaigns and great people doing Facebook ads. But the problem that we have seen with Facebook ads is that you can't specifically target the right group of people that you want to target. But when we are doing cold email, the great thing about it is that we can choose exactly who we target. We can pick 2,000 prospects who fit your niche, who fit your criteria, and then we're able to reach out to only those people. We are not trusting any algorithms. We are reaching out to the exact people who we want to reach out to that we can hand pick. And the great thing about it is cold emails are super easy to delete. They're super easy not to reply. If someone gets an email from us, if they are not interested, they can just never reply. So the people who end up actually coming to the calls through our cold email campaigns, they have really high intent. Throughout this whole process, they always just had the time to delete our email. So the calls that we get through cold email, they first of all fit the exact criteria that we want them to fit. And also they have really high intent to actually hear about your offer. They are really interested. And that is the big power of cold email, why it works so well. We don't need to get 100 leads a month with cold email. We can only get 5. But because those 5 are so high quality, we're going to probably make more money than from 100 leads that we would be getting otherwise. And they're like, that actually makes a lot of sense. That is really great. And the certainty once again increases. And now at this point, you're like, I have asked so many times about this deal. I gotta want to ask again. But once again, if you want to actually close them, you need to ask, okay, John, now knowing this information, is there something else in your mind? Or do you just want to get started next week? And they once again tell you no. And once again, a lot of agency owners are like, I'll just let them think about it. I'll just let them do X, Y, and Z things. But there is still gap between buying temperature and certainty. And obviously, at this point, it's starting to get really close. You're thinking in your head, okay, they don't have enough of certainty. Their buying temperature is actually higher than I thought. So, okay, John, what are the last concerns that you have in your head? Like, what are you still thinking about? What if it doesn't work? Like, oh, okay, I completely understand. There's a lot of different services online, but what I'll do for you is I'll give you a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. So we work together for 30 days. You're able to see how we work. And if after those 30 days, you're not 100% satisfied with our service and you don't see this actually being something that you want to do, you're just able to let us know and we'll refund all of your money. Does that sound like a deal that you would like to do? And then they're like, okay, there's no risk. I have a great satisfaction guarantee. Boom, their certainty jumps here. You ask for the deal and they're going to actually tell you, yes, sure, let's do it. And this is something that most people mess up when doing sales. They don't understand that pitching is only like 50% of the job. They think that they need to have banger pitch, banger offer, banger guarantee, and boom, that's going to be everything. But actually, that's only 50% of the job. And in sales, like a good rule of thumb to have is the more you ask for the deal, the more money you make. And there's a really simple sales framework that I have used for 8 years that really helps with this situation. And it's something that is called looping. Pretty much how looping works, it's really simple. So you have your pitch, and the next thing that's going to happen is immediately after a pitch, you're going to go for the close. You're going to ask for the deal. You're going to ask, okay, John, would you like to do this? Would you like to work with us? Do you want to get started on Monday? And then after the close, in 90% of the cases, you're going to get a no. But you just need to understand that getting the no in the sales process a few times is just part of the process. Everything until this no is just giving a presentation. And this is where actually sales starts. This is actually when you need to start selling. You clarify objection. Because obviously, if you don't know why they're telling you no, it's going to be impossible for you to actually get the deal. So when you have clarified the objection, why they're telling you no, maybe it's trust, maybe it's the price, maybe it's the timing, maybe it's something else. And when you clarify the objection, what you do is you handle the objection. You ask for the deal, John, do you want to buy it? They tell you no. You ask why? They tell you because the timing is not good. You handle the timing objection, and immediately after you have handled the timing objection, you go in for the close again. And this is the loop. And you do this until the prospect tells you yes. And this is how you need to look at sales when you're selling your agency services. This is obviously a framework that works with every single sales product ever, but looping and understanding the certainty and understanding the buying temperature is extremely crucial for you to see success. So if you just do this, you're able to start closing 3 times higher in your next call. You're able to increase your prices. You don't have to give discounts anymore, because a lot of people, when they get a no, they just try to give a discount and it just doesn't work out. It's a complete mess, and it's going to make running your agency so much better. Of course, if you want to learn more of these things about sales, running an agency, doing cold outreach, whatever it might be, you can go check out leadgenkit.io. It's a completely free resource. I'm not going to charge you thousands of dollars to learn this really crucial information to build your agency. Leadgenkit.io is something that has taken a lot of people to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month alone just from free information. So just go leadgenkit.io or click the link in the description. And obviously, if you like this video, please drop me a like and also subscribe to the channel, because I'm trying to get to 10K subs ASAP, and it would really warm my heart if you did that. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.